let go of fear you're holding. The fire smoldering, it's starting all over again. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know what I'm in for. A white knuckle ride. You got a fix for me, you know what I need. Oh, it's a breakneck speed. Might as well enjoy the ride. The air around exploding.
Brazelton, Georgia is the place. We literally sit about 10 minutes to the south of Gainesville, Georgia, in the chair I sit in, but you don't care about me. You care about the action on the track tonight, and that's where we are. Road Atlanta is the place as we sit up here just to the south of the start of the North Georgia Mountains as we get ready for some fun racing this evening. Tonight, welcome to the ETA Grand Prix of Road Atlanta. I am the captain, Chris Scalo, with you, with Gary Godso. Gary, the one-winged angel Godso, as I've not told him his new nickname, but he got that nickname officially from me just now.
I'll take it.
There you go. Perfect. As Gary, we come to this kind of shorter track, 2.5 mile, very hilly track, elevation changes. As I said, this is pretty much the start of the North Georgia Mountains, basically, is where you just start working your way up elevation, obviously up into the Appalachians and things like that. We sit about an hour northeast of Atlanta, about 45 northeast of Stone Mountain, in case you don't know points of references here, and we're just south of the hometown of Deshaun Watson and AJ Styles, to name a few athletes here in Brazelton. But tonight it's all about racing, and you got a couple name drops you're going to throw in there too, but let's talk about this Road Atlanta track.
Well, right now we're just looking at the qualification results, and right now the phenomenal one, since we're talking AJ Styles, is Isaac Morris, and it's going to be who can beat Isaac tonight, as everyone is bringing the battle to him. But man, these cars who don't race here in real life are absolutely crushing the track record. The current track record was set back in 2008 by an LMP1 Peugeot Sport prototype. 106.242. Everybody from the 12th position up is faster than that here today. It's up, it's down, it's like a roller coaster, it's fast, it has long straights, you can draft, it has fast sweeping turns that you can sit there and keep the foot in it. This is a pretty great road course that the IndyCars really have never been to, and we'll talk about as close as they came to in history with Indy Lights and actually appearing on the schedule for the USAC Champ Cars one time. But they've never been here, and this is not the best we're ever going to see about Indy cars being at Road Atlanta.
And the closest a stock car race has ever happened here was actually a stone's throw off of turn number 1. I tried to get a view of the track, but iRacing doesn't have that part up to date yet. But Lanier Raceway, which is on iRacing, is literally across Highway 53 right there. It's now a go-kart place, ironically. But that's the closest NASCAR's ever came here, unless you're Brad Keselowski. Then you almost broke your ankle here in a testing race. But that's a whole nother story. Anyways, tonight, though, we've got great IndyCar action on this track that you're going to see a lot of straightaways, a lot of push to pass being used, and we have a very tricky S section. Pretty much you come up turn 1, a right-handed corner, and then you come up on this series of S's it starts actually with a completely blinding corner. You almost have to use the white line on the track, at least that's what I was taught, right here on the screen, you're seeing it right now, to turn right into that corner to start the S's.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of faith there that you see the rumble strips on the inside corner. You know at that point you probably need to start turning the wheel a little bit to the right, and there's a lot of faith involved there. Am I turning too early? Am I turning too late? The drivers have been warned, and I don't mean warned in a negative way, but have been warned and have been cautioned about that first or that turn, because that's going to be about the place where they're going to start funneling down. The front straight's pretty wide. It's not too bad. First turn's pretty wide. Second turn's not much of a turn. It's we're a little bit more of an arc, but we're really going to have to woe it down for 3, and that's where it's going to funnel down, and that's where we might see the first action of the night.
And Cody Claiborne's actually working his way through that section right now. as a matter of fact. But hey, let's go over everything really quickly for the race. As you know, this is race number 9. Sorry, my Beatles part there came out of me. But race number 9 of the season here at Road Atlanta. And of course, next week we go to France in the we're at the home of the Petit Le Mans. We're going to go to the actual home of Le Mans next week for the final race of the schedule. So race number 9, 2 races to go in this one, and we got a really tight battle. But let's show the pole awards first. Isaac Morrissey has won the last 4. Looking at number 5 here, as he is he's landed to them pretty much right now in qualifying. So we'll talk about that as you made mention in a second. That points battle I mentioned. Look at this. The rookie, Caleb Benzie, a 2-point lead over Alex Van de Sant. And they lead by 8 over Cohen Evans, who's actually a 10-point advantage over Dakota DeMed. Craig Forsyth, Matt Houston, Justin Miller, all within 33 points. There's still 7 cars that can win this championship right now.
Yeah, no one's getting away on this one. And while we might be all talking about Isaac at the front, who kind of just jumped into the season midway through due to his scheduling conflicts that he had, he couldn't make most of the first half. We're going to be looking at some of these battles further on back, and they're going to be critical. And when I say critical, I mean it's a capital C, critical, about the points battle, because there's only one more race after this. You have a mistake in this one, you might not be able to recover.
Looking at the team points, LMC is pretty much walking away with this one. As you see, the new team down there, ETA Racing, the sponsors of tonight's race, already scoring 40 points in their first event and are tied actually to come out of the basement. And it's really not fair to say the basement to them because that was their first race last week. So they got a shot after Daytona's road course and here tonight to jump out of that last place position. Last award, this one here, the Race Verse Happy Trails Chili Mix, a second chance championship. Isaac Morris leading this one by 3 over Caleb Benzie. So basically this award race started back at the 6th race of the season at Indianapolis, basically, and they're pretty much awarding a second chance championship. So for those who missed a few races, like Isaac will use, for example, it's a chance for him to actually still compete for a championship in the series. So pretty cool thing to see being done here in this 10-race schedule. So that is definitely going to make things pretty fun here as we come up on the last 5 minutes of qualifying. So real quickly, let's jump down here. I'm going to grab a driver from the ETA team, and that guy is going to be Adam Plunkett right now. Adam is currently in the 10th position. Off the air, he told me he had blind faith that he could get Isaac's pole lap in a Formula One car. But Adam, nonetheless, you have you gone a pretty good lap here. You're 10th right now in qualifying, but you're here because ETA stepped in and sponsored this race because it was unsponsored. Talk about the reason, because you guys have only been around for a week.
Well, I kind of touched on it when we talked last week. That we're just real impressed with the league, the setups. I continue to tell people about the league and how it's run. That we jumped in and right away it kind of felt like home and a place we'd want to dedicate some time.
We'll talk about you got through the first week, and then obviously now you've had that week of racing with these guys. What all did you and your teammates try to do to maybe adjust to the competition here to say, all right, we need to do this or do that maybe to beat these guys?
Well, I think that each one of us approaches it a little differently. For one thing, Ed's always going to be the fastest. There's not going to be a way around that. And Tom and I, we generally like to kind of slot in, try to reduce the number of mistakes that we make and hope that others make more than we do. But I really had hoped to be a little higher than 10th. I was kind of hoping for a top 5, but everyone just got super fast overnight.
Well, and talk about the race, because obviously now starting 10th, it's going to be, turn 1, about a 90-degree corner, and then you go uphill, and then you got the S's that are going to be, I think, the trouble spot on this first lap.
Yeah, definitely. The start of the race for me is just get through the first couple of laps until everyone kind of finds their pace. And, if there's some work to do on whoever's running in front of me, maybe start to apply a little pressure. But yeah, there's really two races. One, get through the first couple of laps, and then just sort of manage mistakes the rest of the way. I'd really like to get a top 5, but that's going to be asking a lot, I think, with these times.
I think you just answered about 90% of iRacing's question when I asked that question. When you talked about just get by the first corner of the first lap. That's like 90% of iRacing's answer. So if only they would listen to what they say, they would be okay.
Right.
But Adam,
What, you mean you can't win the race on the first turn?
we discussed this off the air, Gary. But I can't say those 3 letters right now. Anyways, hey, Adam, we appreciate your time. Best of luck. And you got about a minute before the race, so we'll let you go prepare yourself. And we appreciate ETA being a part of this. And we hope for good success again tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Adam Plunkett there.
Hey, I really appreciate ETA joining the league and their promotion to get other people that they know into the league. And if you are watching this from home and you're interested in getting into this league, all these races, they have a ton of practice time to them. And one of the things he said, a lot of these guys picked up speed overnight. Before every LMCgear.com Indy Car Series race, there is 12 hours of official practice that they put up on iRacing for you to participate in. And all of them are open to everybody. So you can sample, and then you can decide, hey, I want to join or maybe not join. But there are 12 hours of practice starting on Friday night from 7 to 10, Saturday night 7 to 10, and then Sunday night from 4 to 10 p.m. And this is all Eastern, where you could jump in and practice with these guys. And if you like what you see, you can then later join the league. And there's plenty of time to improve yourself in those 12 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if a normal stock car driver can, go out and compete in an oval race in these cars, you can do it on a road course. You can do it. I got faith in everybody. Just saying. All right. I'm just putting it out there, Gary. I mean, I did compete Saturday night pretty well. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We won't talk about the result too much, but I did compete at least. Anyways, we're getting ready for the. Yep, there's the checkered flag. Bernie, the flag man over there, waving it. As you see the big Michelin man on the side of the building, we look over at one of the cars coming up the hill there, turn 1. And as I said, right there, that is the angle from the car you see going in that turn 2, turn 3 section. Here's the turn 5 area that goes up the first of the long straightaways as you we're coasting with Isaac Morris here. The 42, Oscar Fredrickson, he's on track right now. Oscar heading up the long straightaway here down to the S's. And this here, I mean, your top gear is 6th right there. Your top speed about 180 mile an hour, and you got this S's. And then you're wide open all the way down this hill underneath the bridge and a blinding downhill like a roller coaster. And a real quick sweeping corner. The start-finish line is literally right there.
Yeah, and when you come down under that bridge, and I can't speak for any other cars other than the Indy car, when you come down under that bridge, your car becomes extremely light, very light. If you're on push to pass, if you're applying the pressure on the pedal at the wrong time, at the wrong point and moment, you could probably lose it through there. So that's going to probably be one of the areas that I would want to keep a look on, other than turn 3 is coming down over that hill, because your Indy car becomes very light as it crests that hill.
And not to mention, pit road's very blinding too, because right down that hill to the right is how you get onto pit road on this track. So there's a lot of issues you could have on that track when it is all over with. So here we go. Let's show the starting lineup for this race. Isaac Morris with his 5th pole in a row. He will start that number 2 car, P1 on the grid alongside Ed Kerstetter. Eric O'Connor, Caleb Bensey, they will be row number 2. Row number 3 is Cohen Evans and Oscar Fredrickson making his 2nd start. Dakota DeMed, we'll talk about him here in a little bit. Pretty cool deal he's got going on. Matt Houston starting in the 8th position. Alex Van de Sant, Adam Plunkett, the row number 5. Alex got to come through the middle of the field a little bit there, so not a good qualifying effort on his end. Jim Herrick,
he can do it.
Yeah, he definitely can. Cody Claiborne and Jim Herrick there, row number 6. Row 7, Craig Forsyth and Tom Carpenter, the T in the ETA Racing. Dan Marrera and Gavin Smith. Gavin working on that qualifying, doing a better job, but is going to keep working at it there in the 16th position. Row number 9, Joe Fierro, Elliott Cox, the Indiana driver, and the other 2 guys here not starting. So we have 18 cars that are going to grid in this race and go for it all when it is all said and done. This is waiting for the cars to roll away here, but going to be a very, very fun race, I think. Going to be challenging. Not many passing points, so you got to take what you can get out here.
Yeah, you're really down to about 2, maybe 3 passing points. Certainly 2 into the 10A and 10B right before the downhill underneath the bridge. That little chicane there, big time braking point, and probably coming into the long back straight area. There's a first turn or first gear turn, second gear turn area there that you might be able to sneak under somebody and gain some positions. But it's going to be very tactical. Just to give you an idea, this is a 2.5-mile road course. Isaac Morris, pole speed 140.446.
That's quick.
Around this course.
All right, I mentioned something cool going on with Dakota Demand. I'm going to show this real quickly, and we'll be right back here in just a second.
Great formation.
All right, back we are here at Road to Atlanta. That video game you're seeing is all part of this young man here in the number 82 car, Dakota Demed. That is called Baltic Pistol, and you're going to be able to purchase that game on, of course, I forget the stream.
Steam.
That's it. Thank you. Steam.
Yep.
I couldn't remember. I was thinking Stratus for some reason. Yep. And yes, Sherry, thank you for the no sound. I actually had our mics muted purposely as I stepped away real quickly to take care of something before we went green. So, all right, here we go. As we come to the green, Isaac Morris, Ed Kerstetter, O'Connor, and these guys looking at downhill race to the green flag. Road Atlanta Racing. Here we go.
Big jump. Here comes the critical part.
Here's that turn 2.
Everyone make it through.
Good so far. I think everyone made it.
All right, prayers answered. All right.
And then Gavin Smith might be the smartest one. He's about a half straightaway back already from the field. It's like, if y'all reckon, I ain't getting in it.
Discretion is a better part of valor sometimes.
Well, actually, he went off track in turn 1, I think, but we won't mention that.
Oh, okay. What?
So Isaac Morris with his Lewis Hamilton type of start, but he's got 3 rookies lined up behind him. Ed Kerstetter, Eric O'Connor, Caleb Bensey. Down this first of 2 straightaways, or actually, this is the second straightaway. Laps are so quick, I don't know which straightaway they're on.
There is additional gains here, and coming up to the sweeper before the stretch here.
This is turn 12.
Completion of lap 1.
Move into turn 12 section, almost coming off the ground a little bit there. You saw that one car, Cohen Evans, a complete lap 1. Fuel strategy here, what do you think? Looks like lap 12 is the lap that opens up the window.
Yeah, they're going to try to make them in as incremental stops as they can to maximize the fuel load and weight in the car. But lap 12, I think the window might open a little bit earlier than that, but certainly by lap 12, we can have stops made.
See Cody Claiborne back here battling with Jim Herrick. He made the pass here. Jim's trying to come back on him into the series of right-handers. Strong move by Herrick. Young kid. He took the high line in that series of right-handers, kind of reminiscent. You know what that reminds me of? Those right-handers kind of remind me of course, I'm going to flip the track, but over the British Grand Prix, the series of right-handers over there that used to be, before they remodeled the track, on Silverstone, basically.
Silverstone,
yeah, they had that series of right-handers that kind of reminds me of as they come through the turn 12 section. Lap 2 on the track in a battle up ahead here. Matt Houston under attack from Adam Plunkett. Adam got out of it. Smart move on his part.
It's too early for making moves like that.
It's one of I'm sorry, just reading off my going off track. But no, it's one of those situations where I guess it's that fine line of knowing when you're really below somebody and when you're not. When you're there and when you're not. Because you always hear them say, well, yeah, he was there. Or, well, no, he wasn't there yet.
And sometimes, especially if you're doing the sim via monitor, you don't know, just kind of going by what your spotter says. Hopefully the other person next to you is also confident enough that they're not going to jerk the wheel into you. However, if you go VR, that opens your world to a vast array of things you can do in iRacing. Certainly telling you the distance of yourself in another car by simply turning your head is a lot easier.
I'm a little scared to use VR, to be honest with you. I don't know how to handle that. But here we are with Cohen Evans up in turn 1. This is that line section. Turn 2, and then where's turn 3? Oh, here it is. That turn right, go right over that curve, basically, and it's a series of corners here, and another blinder in turn 5 through these S's. And then all of a sudden there's a sharp left-hander, third gear corner, I believe. Up second gear for Cohen. But then up the first of 2 straightaways here.
Yeah, so it's 5 to 6. Now they're into the 5 to 6, 7 complex. Kind of reminds me of a larger version of Moss Corner.
Oh, there you go.
They're stepping into a sweep. 7, 8, 9 is straight enough and long enough. We can talk about that a little bit later.
Well, if you look closely, and I forget which car dealership it is, there's a commercial I've seen on TV an awful lot lately. But they actually filmed it here, and the reason I know that is because there's an overhead shot of the car. You see the helipad in the infield. As Craig Forsythe's going to look underneath his teammate Herrick here, going to make the move as Cody Claiborne got by him a second ago. Cody and I'm losing names all of a sudden here. Cody and Jim Herrick were having issues. And speaking of issues in the back, I believe we have issues for Dan Morera. He might have spun around here. I see Elliot Cox and Tom Carpenter's name in here also. Oh, wow. Yeah, the the 3 car. 67 of Elliot Cox has no left front. So let's go back here and see. We might have our first major wreck of the night. And they're coming down the long straightaway here. Elliot's looks like in front of these 3. Down to the chicane in front of Morera. Morera's going to look. Oh, and just locks it up and nowhere to go as Morera kind of hits him. Carpenter kind of sneaks through there, so no harm, no foul to Tom, but unfortunately Elliott gets clobbered pretty hard there after that situation. They do have a reset tonight.
You got teammates at the front now. O'Connor. Oh, yeah, it is O'Connor.
Yeah, let's say, I see an O right here. He just went purple.
He made a pass on Kerstetter right there in the 10A, 10B chicane. So we got now the purple cars at the front.
Yeah, and then Eric just went purple sector, a manager at my job. He's a new manager at our building. Just started about 2 or 3 weeks ago. New to the Gainesville area. Just asked on the stream. He says, "Can we hear Road Atlanta from work?" No, but I can say I do remember last year I was at a friend's house down in Houston, which is spelled, it's almost pronounced like Houston, just to the south of Brazil. And I was at a friend's house that night during a Petit Le Mans. I could hear the cars, and I think we were a good 2-3 miles from the track. And I could actually name almost which car it was as it was going by.
Cool.
So that helps answer your question.
Yeah, my first apartment that I had with my wife after we got married was not too far down the road from Indianapolis Raceway Park. So every West National weekend,
That'll wake you up.
But it was great.
Honey, we're not sleeping this weekend.
Nope. They're under the lights too.
Question for you here, because I debated this a couple weeks ago in another league race I broadcasted, because back in the day when ESPN used to air the Thursday Night Thunder sprint car midget races there, they always said Claremont, Indiana. Now, it's, when you put ARCA on or whatever, it's Brownsburg, Indiana. What town is that track in?
It depends on what, it's the same case of where I live here too. It's whatever post office delivers to you, really. It's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. Myself, I live in Westfield, but I have to go to the Nobleville post office to get any packages that get delivered to me instead of 5 minutes down to the Westfield post office. So it's the same thing there. And I doubt you'll see Brownsburg want to give that up because the more addresses Brownsburg has, the more federal money they get for their post office. It used to be Claremont, yes, and it somehow got rearranged, and we got a wreck.
Yeah, Tom Carpenter went off over in the second right-hander there as they come down the long straightaway. No harm, no foul. And Adam Plunkett's had issues now. Plunkett is off over here. I want to say that's out of the chicane. Yep, sure is. Out of the chicane over here. He is spun around, no damage. But two of the ETA cars not having a good time so far in this race. The man having a good time is Isaac
Still
Morse.
early.
Yep.
Yeah, O'Connor's not letting them get away. He's got him a second and a half in front of him, so he's there where he can drive the long straight he needs to. Has to push the pass if he has to. He's there close enough that he can capitalize on a mistake and he's far enough back that if something does happen, he doesn't run into it. So still early. No reason to attack your teammate at this point. Rule number 1 of being teammates in auto racing: don't break your teammate.
Don't do it. That sound you guys heard maybe on the screen, you might have heard it too. I reacted to it. It sounded like somebody had wrecked over turn 5 near the lead, or turn 6 with the first right-hander. But I went back and looked and didn't see anything. So we continue on. So, according to some of the drivers in this race, they were talking about 21 laps on the tank of fuel. You do 21 and 21, that leaves you 12 laps. So here at lap 12, that should open up the window. I've heard some drivers talk about splitting this race 2 stops, just doing 18 and 18, which will get you to the 54 number. We'll have to see what some have up their sleeve here as Isaac continues to lead his teammate, Eric O'Connor, who continues to actually be slightly faster than his teammate.
Eric is currently purposeful for the race. I was talking with Isaac before the race, and he said he's worked with a few tracks. The longer you go, the slower you get in terms of road courses. Typically, road courses get faster as you go on, you get more and more rubber and laid down and everything. You get the groove established. Here, it tends to slow down for Indy cars for some reason. I don't know if that has to do with the tires going away, or my understanding is that some of these cars are constantly receiving undertree damage at the top of the hill and turn 3 as the car loads and hits the asphalt.
Right there.
So we'll keep that in mind.
Yep, that part right there was turn 3 where you saw O'Connor kind of go over that curve. And it's a blinding curve that transitions down a hill. So it's a corner easily that you could damage the undercarriage of these cars. And one thing about these things, you would think, well, the undercarriage, what's that got to do with aerodynamics? Oh, a whole ton.
It's everything for IndyCar. Everything.
Looking at our current points leader, 6th place, Caleb Benzie here as he works up on Oscar Fredrickson. This is a battle for 5th position through the second right-hander down the straightaway here. Helipad right to the right there, that's the top 2. But remember, Cohen was just a couple points back, and he's 3 spots ahead of these guys. So, not to mention, you ask if there's any way for this battle to get tighter. if this race were to end right now, there's your tighter battle.
Hey, I like tight battles. It makes more promising TV and streaming for the championship race.
Going to Le Mans next week, which has, I don't know, about 5 straightaways.
Yeah, about 8 different places to pass, too.
About as long as... Each straightaway is about as long as this track.
Right, and you could use all your push to pass in one lap.
Pretty much. Speaking of passing, Adam Plunkett working his way back up through the field, looking inside at Jim Herrick. That sweeping turn number 1. Is he going to try to make a move in 3 here? Oh, don't do that. Pretty much now he's kind of got to be patient and hopefully get the run through turn 5 as he come back up the hill here into that turn 5 section, which then leads us to the 2 straightaways. So you maybe push to pass here, but you know Jim's going to use it coming back up the straightaway probably.
Yeah, and unlike some other maybe auto racing sports where you have the push to pass or a DRS or curves or something, IndyCar can use it for offensive or defensive purposes.
Which ironically we passed the DRS zone right there for the F1 cars.
Yeah, I like seeing that, yeah.
And there it is. There's the pass being made. The 20 to the, I guess it'd be the inside heading for the chicane. And he cleanly makes the pass and move the 20 of Plunkett back up to 11, started 10th. So doing a nice job for somebody who's had his struggles at the beginning.
The window is open. It is lap 12.
And so far, nobody to pit road, but yes, the window is open. Only 2 cars have pitted so far, Cody Claiborne and Elliott Cox, but that was, I think, due to damage on both.
Yeah, it's basically a 3-car battle right now between Morris, O'Connor, and Kerstetter. And then there's a huge 8-second gap back to Cohen, Fredrickson, and Mincy.
Oh, Tom Carpenter's gone around again over here, the Nike car. And the Virginia driver, I want to say that is over in the S's, turn 3 area. I think we finally had turn 3 bite somebody.
It is so easy to do. It is so easy to do.
It's one of the rare corners I honestly can say I've wrecked at. I shouldn't say rarely wrecked at, but I've wrecked everywhere.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, it's kind of a blind
Oh, he goes over all the cones. He misses turn 3 and then spins it. Yeah, and then spins it right there over the turn 4. He just did it.
So next time we see an IndyCar going through there, on the left, we're going to see white bubble strips that will appear. And that's basically the target that you want to get your left front tire onto and start your turn in to make the right in. And it comes up really quick. You're not watching. Timing's off just a fraction. You're not making it.
I ran a road race here in a GT3 car, and I had a guy tell me the white line on the track. When you get to it, turn. I was like, all right, that seems pretty simple to me. And I'll try to point out that white line. But I see Ruthless Samurai, who's watching us tonight on YouTube chat. Appreciate you, sir. Poor man. Says here the start might be 18 and 18. Or strategy, I think he's trying to say, which that would make more sense here. So let's watch Isaac. He comes up the hill. There's a white line. Well, you couldn't see it in net view. You know, I think that's the most ideal strategy because 18 times 3 is 54. Yeah, 54, and I gotta write it down, you know. Past the lap car of Cody Claiborne and O'Connor, who went purple that time by, is having trouble with Claiborne. Oh, and he spins! O'Connor spins it!
He was trying to get on the power, and he just lost the backside.
He must have been in first gear, and his suspension's done. He's going to have to go to pit road. Oh, he is pretty sure he's going to be throwing something at Claiborne, maybe. Not that Claiborne, you know, we could discuss that if he did something wrong or not, but unfortunate deal there for O'Connor. Let's watch again. You see Claiborne to the inside there. He's letting him go. And the old goose, as we call it. Because I believe this is probably a first gear corner, am I wrong?
No, it is a first gear corner, and it's a lot sharper than it looks.
Yeah, I've learned that. You know what? Let's look one more time. I wonder if the curve had something to do with this too. It's good there. Good there. You know what? The rear of the car climbed the curve a little bit. wasn't like a complete high side.
What happened here is he
Go ahead.
right, and what happened here is he just adjusted his line just enough that it was different than previous laps by no more than inches, and that's all it takes.
Unfortunately, these cars, it's just, I mean, they're so low to the ground. And some of these curves are very
I'm
high.
Doubting, right, and I'm not doubting that he was trying to get on the gas to maintain that gap between himself and the leader. And it's nothing. I'm going to defend Cody here. They caught him at the wrong point of the track, really,
right.
And I think Cody did everything to get out of the way. But even when you come up to those back markers and they do get themselves out of the way, they do kind of disrupt your rhythm a little bit. Maybe there was part of a little column B going on here.
So unfortunately, the first wreck, or one of the first wrecks of the race, involving the leader of this race. So tough break for them in this situation. So O'Connor, unfortunately, all the way back now, lap down in 16th at the toe. He will get a reset, but the chances of getting a caution right now are 99.9%. As a matter of fact, the only cautions we've ever had in this series since we've started broadcasting, well, is the oval races.
Right. We have Eric's back there, but he's still got the purple lap to hang a hat on. And I'm sure he's going to be driving with lots of anger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll say something maybe in the Discord chat or whatever after the race, but and he's going to be angry. I mean, would you not be angry in that situation? But at the same time, I think I agree with you. Cody he held his line, and as we know in road racing, it's your job to pass the lap car.
We have a damaged car on the track. It looks like Forsyth is damaged. He's a one-winger.
Yeah, a one-winger. He's winging it through the two right-handers, it looks like here. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to him. Recently, it looks like it did. He's coming out of the pits, actually. Oh, and he smacks the pit road wall in turn one. He pulled a Daytona at Road Atlanta. Comes out of the pits and whammo.
Yeah, that's easy to do too. Cold tires, accelerating on the pit limiter, planting the foot to the floor, and your back end will break away, and that happens too. And again, this is what practice is here for. You can kind of hope this stuff happens in practice and not the race. Learn and practice. Mental note: don't put foot to floor with cold tires. But sometimes that translation doesn't always make it to the foot in the race.
Want to again bring up this race brought to you by ETA Racing. Get the new team in this league. Ed Kerstetter running in the second position. These guys stepped up, and this race was unsponsored until earlier this week, and they wanted to show their appreciation to the series. So we send our shout out back to them. ETA Racing, Ed Kerstetter, Tom Carpenter, and where's the other guy? Plunkett. The guy we interviewed, Adam Plunkett. I should know that one at least. But those three, part of the ETA Racing group there. So appreciate them being a part of this race tonight. And also want to mention, I talked about the Second Chance Championship. That, of course, brought to you by Raceverse. If you're looking for a iRacing broadcaster for sports car and open wheel racing leagues, or one-off events, Raceverse specializes in broadcasting of IndyCar and Formula One style racing, or Formula style racing, I should say, as well as the sports cars and prototypes. Visit raceverse.com to check out previous broadcasts and send them a message using our contact form and let them know what you are looking for. And of course, Tom Hoover's Happy Trails Chili. For you guys up in Indiana, they're starting to get cold up there and see the sun once every 6 days. Just add beef, tomato sauce, and water, and you'll get the World Championship Chili. Of course, each winner of the last 5 races, so far, Isaac Morris. I'm sure that shipping bill is getting up there a little bit. Is going to get a package of Happy Trails Chili seasoning mix. And Raceverse Second Chance Champion will get a $15 iRacing credit. I know a service that starts with F and ends with X that you could use and maybe get a good rate. I'm just going to put that out there without promoting that company. Anyways, and they have a spoon and arrow. They have a spoon and arrow. All right, we continue on.
Isaac is coming up behind some of the driveline cars that are having rougher days right now. This is navigated around them, but it held them up just a tick. Made them a little bit around, but they're still within 5 seconds.
Yeah, Isaac just out there kind of pacing himself as Ed Kerstetter's on pit road here. He's going to try to gain some time. We are in that window. Caleb Bensey comes to pit road right at lap 20, so these guys are going to likely just do the 21:42 strategy. So looking to see who else has pitted. Van de Sant's been on pit road. He pitted at lap 18. And Adam Plunkett's been on pit road at lap 18. So add those two guys to the list. We didn't get to see their stops as we were trying to cover all the, the paying bills.
Bensey's in right now currently.
Yep, 9.0 for Kerstetter. Bensey. So let me ask this. If you're 9 seconds on pit road and you've pretty much emptied the tank, are you short filling to go a short run here?
Yes.
So that means we're probably going to see Kerstetter at lap 33 if that's the case. But Bensey at 10.1, so he probably filled her up.
Leader on pit road, and he's caught behind a back who slowed him up coming in.
That's a teammate, by the way, to Kerstetter in front of him. Not starting anything here.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
I don't, team orders or not.
I mean, Ferrari, are you involved here? Or are they here somewhere?
Grazie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's race shops all over this area of Road Atlanta. As you see, Carpenter lead pit road, and Isaac stuck behind him again. Cohen Evans on pit road. There's plenty of race shops. I know Paul Miller Racing right on the other side of Buford, over to the west of Brazelton. You got the old Delta Wing is literally right down the road here.
Oh, you want to be careful here. You got cold tires. You want to pit. You want to pass this guy. Okay, Carpenter moved over. Really nice of him. He's not exactly letting him go, but he's pulled over.
I think I'll do it after instead of before. Oscar Fredrickson leading this race right now. He will probably be in this lap. Let's see if Oscar comes in here as he gets over the chicane here and over the blinding corner. See if he cuts through to the right. He does, and down pit road he comes. Literally down pit road.
Pit in right here. Yep.
Joe Fierro, Dan Barrera, those guys all in here at lap number 21. So we'll have to watch pretty much everybody pitting within a 3-lap window.
Yeah, all the pit stops are complete, at least the first round. We got some folks that pitted early due to damage for something or other. That it probably came in again. The damage that came in early, and they'll have to pit here probably for the next 5 laps or so. But everyone's mostly on the same schedule.
So in the end, Isaac has still got about a 5.9 second lead. So Kerstetter really didn't gain much. Got Cohen Evans there in third. Looks like Oscar's going to come out comfortably in fourth. And then Caleb Bensey and Alex Van de Sant. It's ironic how no matter where you race, the top 2 in points end up right next to each other or behind each other.
As long as they're not wrecking each other, it's
yeah, that's very true. Or as we've seen, I've seen the IndyCar.
We have, I believe, Isaac has a damaged front wing.
He does. Left front.
He has a damaged front wing. Yes, he does have a front wing damage.
What happened?
I don't know where he got it. I don't know where he got it from, but he is damaged. That is going to impact him greatly.
He had to have hit a curve or something. Let's see if I can go back and find this somehow. Let's see if I can pull this miracle.
And
I'm gonna look for a lap up right here.
He might not know he has it.
That might not be a bad thing actually, because sometimes what you don't know is best. Because that could be more of a mental thing.
Well, he's probably wondering right now if he doesn't know it's damaged. He's probably wondering why my car is driving like crap all of a sudden. You can. I'm looking.
Oh, right there. It's the curve downhill in turn 4.
Yep.
He clips that inside, and that wing just bends right there. Think.
And that is just because of G-forces and compression.
Too much science.
I know, but because science.
Poetry in motion.
My daughter would like that.
Blinded me over here. Good.
Blinded by the light.
No, that blinded me with science. Come on, Thomas. Anyways.
Real science.
Yeah, no kidding. Kerstetter's gained about a 10th. Just keeping track of that last lap. Isaac at a 6 flat. And Kerstetter a 5.9. So same laps. I really think for Isaac, if he hasn't noticed it, then He might just be one of those, like, ignoring that and be like, yep, I'm good.
Well, he's still on fairly fresh tires, so we'll see how this run progresses. If it gets him to his next pit stop and he manages to maintain the gap, then no harm, no foul. He'll get the quick repair, and he'll be good to go, for the remainder of the race. But we'll see. He's got to be at some point wondering why his car is not behaving the way it was before, if he can't see it already.
Let me ask this question. If you're Isaac, if you know you got the damage, do you swap your strategy now and say, all right, I'm coming in as soon as this window opens?
Yes, I would. And that would be to minimize the damage to as quickly as possible. And that kind of comes down to what you're saying before in some other races where we're ripping off the Band-Aid. Let's open the window, get in there, take care of it, put some fresh shoes on, and then start tearing off some big laps, because the guy behind you still has to stop.
So we got a battle.
Turn one.
Well, and that's easily. I know this is back actually in 13th position, but I like to get all the battles. Lap cars, but Forsythe and Joe Fierro here. Battle's a battle no matter what position. There's points on the line here. And Forsythe's going to try to get what he can here. He's got that new wing on the car after destroying it. And look at that run he gets on Fierro here. You got to be careful in that curve there, and that left-hander. I've spun an Indy car off that curve.
Now, Forsythe's looking at a top 5 championship finish right now, so he wants to get every point he can.
Oh, and Fierro goes wide.
Right behind him is Matt Houston and Justin Miller, and they're just 2 points and 1 point and 2 point respectively behind him. So he needs every point possible. I don't think Justin Miller's in today's race.
I did not yet. That's a good point. Miller's not here, so that pretty much eliminates him right out automatically. Because I want to say, I'll have to go back and review. Give me a second here, and I'll go get the point standings up, because I'm still trying to memorize that off the top of my head. But obviously with 18 cars, you want to be within a certain distance, basically, to stay within the championship race. And there's your point leader right there, Caleb Bensey, the rookie, Indianapolis winner. He's been probably the most consistent driver in the field. I mean, everything but that Monza race that he wants to get rid of in his head has been his only downfall.
And that was just right at the last.
Bad luck.
Bad luck right at the end of the race. Other than that, he was sitting pretty. So, again, consistency pays. We've seen it in IndyCar history. We've seen it in NASCAR history. Just start putting down finishes. That's all you need to do, put down finishes.
That is something he has done. I mean, top 5 after top 5 after top 5. You get my drift, what I'm saying. So, he has done the job. Has earned his spot here in this series, the Ohio driver. And of course, he's got some fans. I know at the beginning of the series, he was getting a lot of fans really quickly.
Kerstetter, purple, just last lap, 105.296, 105.296.
You wonder if somebody told him about Isaac's damage.
It can happen. I'd start laying down big ones too if I could.
Unfortunately, I'm able to. Whatever the IndyCar points are, that's exactly what the points are in this series. I think I know. But I don't. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. As always, by the way, you can chat with us. If you have questions for Gary, if you want to pop him with some trivia, that unfortunately I don't have any tonight. If you want to hit him with some trivia, if you got questions for us, if you want to maybe join the league, if whatever you can come up with, anything you think of, you can ask and or talk to us. We like chatting about racing and so on and so forth. But feel free to chat with us as we are just past the halfway point. That lap, 27 in the books.
One of my all-time favorite Indy 500 was the 1982 Indy 500. And that was better known as for the close finish between John Hockenmears and also the crash at the beginning that was started by...
What was that name?
One of the victims, Kevin Kogan.
No, the first name.
Kevin.
The first name you said.
Oh, John Hockenmears.
Okay. That's not what I heard, I thought. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, maybe I said something else. But definitely John Hockenmears. But one of the actual people that were taken out in that first, not even lap, it was just right at the green wreck, was one of the Winnington brothers. Bill, the one that I remember the most. So there are three brothers that used to show up to Indianapolis every single day. They always used to have really high-end equipment with no sponsors. Are they just rich guys or whatever? Well, it turns out that they also were owners of Road Atlanta. And when we get down to one of this back straight here, you heard me talk about it's long enough to land airplanes on. Well, the Winnington brothers, along with Randy Lanier and John Paul Jr. and John Paul Sr., were involved in financing their sports car and IndyCar careers by smuggling marijuana for the Colombian cartel.
Answers a lot of questions in this area. Just saying. Go ahead.
They were using the backstretch as a landing strip for clandestine flights as they were bringing the goods back into the States. So that's something that didn't ever show up on Narcos, but probably needed to.
And there is, believe it or not, a helipad just to the right of the two right-handed corners back there near the back straightaway. Believe it or not. As we come up to the front straightaway, the front stretch runs right up next to Highway 53. If you're traveling from Gainesville or the Oakwood area of Gainesville down past this area, and it goes right into the small town of Brazelton, where, by the way, there is a big Carter's, the Carter's Kids place there. And also Safelite has a big warehouse in that area. There's a bunch of big warehouses in that area. Jim Harris on his
Oh, wow.
Which, by the way, Kerstetter's knocked the lead down about a second.
Wow, he pulled right down in front of him. I'm happy about that.
I'm pretty sure Jim's telling his wife right now, can you bag some goods for Isaac, please? And then he thinks about the shipping. Never mind.
Yeah. Kerstetter's got it down under 5 seconds now. Now right at it now. Getting caught behind Jim probably didn't help, but I don't think that the damage is helping anymore either.
All right, and I think we're getting to that point where the window is going to open. Just about 3 more laps or so, we should start to see these leaders, if they're going to come, get to pit road for that final pit stop in this race.
So, prior to kind of watching our fantasy simulation here, the closest that the Indy cars really got here in real life was in 2001, where the Indy Lights actually scheduled a support race over Petit Le Mans weekend. That particular race had Townsend Bell, the guy that you hear on NBC Sports all the time. He was on the pole, and your winner was
That probably had a pretty good feeling.
There's not very many names that most people would recognize from that particular race. The ones that I tend to remember, it was basically just those two, is Bell and Weldon. There was another driver that might have had an Indy 500 start and a sip of coffee at the 500, but that was about it. But not very many notables really kind of came from that race.
All right, and it is time now for our NRW ride-along segment, of course, brought to you by NRW Photography. We are going to ride with our second race runner, Ed Kerstetter, who trails by 5 seconds. We'll let you take over here as they go down the straightaway towards the double right-hander. And that lap brought to you by NRW Photography as we ride with Ed Kerstetter, who ran one of the 2 fastest laps of the race just now, along with Isaac Morris, who went purple with a 105.26. But if you want high-resolution screenshots of your paint or want sweet graphics to make your car pop, you can stop by NRW Photography's Facebook page at Weatherby Photography and set up an order today if you mention the LMCgear.com IndyCar broadcast. You'll get 20% off your next purchase. Also ask about the deep fakes. They got some awesome photos of just pretty much everything they do. They do a fantastic job with their stuff. Nick Weatherby, who runs in some of these races, he's not here tonight, but does a fairly good job putting all these things together. You can actually check out his photo. He's actually going to do some stuff for me coming up here this weekend, believe it or not. I got a racing post in. I'm not going to promote it here out of respect or whatever, but he's going to do some stuff, so it's going to be pretty cool to see. So if you get a chance, check out Weatherby Photography on Facebook and much more. But we mentioned Morris a second ago. The window now opens up for the final pit stops, Gary. Alex Van de Sande is on pit road right now, but Isaac, a blistering lap for one wing.
He is doing the impossible. He's making the impossible probable because he's sitting here with a damaged front wing, probably tearing up his tires as a result, and just laying down lap after lap like it's no big deal. Interesting.
Alex Van de Sande on pit road, he got a reset, it looks like, on a wing, but then his rear tires were spinning as he was on the jack. So I'm not sure if he had some kind of clutch deal or if he just goosed it accidentally. That was an interesting situation there. But he pulls away after a 8.1 second pit stop. So I'm assuming that filled his whole tank up. Yep.
Yeah, he's good to go to the end.
So who's going to be the first to pit? I would think Isaac Morris is going to pit, but then he might be thinking, you know what? Well, you know what? The lead's down to 2.5 seconds now. So he might need to go ahead and get to pit road, get this wing fixed, and try to build that lead. He doesn't want to be you want to be the first one to pit last.
Yeah, and at this point, we already know that he can potentially be the fastest guy on the track on a given lap. Let's get in there and get this thing fixed and do it as soon as possible. And if the window's open, I would do it. But, there's a reason why he doesn't get on the road course. I'm not sitting here talking with you.
Good point. He would. Isaac Morris might be the one guy that I could put in a Mazda. I'd be in an F1 car and he'd find a way to lap me.
Yeah, there's a couple guys in this field that I feel like that when I'm going to race against them, and they just somehow bring the impossible out of a car. Alex Van de Sande's one of them. Yep. Isaac's another.
Cohen.
Cohen. You give them something and they make chicken salad out of it. You know what I mean?
Heck, we might be adding Ed Kerstetter to that list. And Ed's on pit road. Ed getting 4 tires and fuel right now. A slower 9.5. I guess it's not so slow. I'm like, he's still sitting there. Come on, dude. Not that we're cheering on anybody, but we want to see a good.
I'm gonna guess Morris is coming in this lap then.
He's got no choice, I would think, especially if tire fall off. I mean, it hasn't fallen off too much, but at the same time, Isaac, we might find the impossible here. He might run. Yeah, I called this before once. He might run like a 104.9 right here.
Yeah, here comes purple. Purple on purple here.
He is coming to pit. No, he stayed out. Let's see.
Nope, he's staying out. See what happens.
Lap time. Oh, no, I was a little off. 105.4.
105.4.
That's only a half second off. For those who don't know, last week at Daytona, I called his lap like right on cue somehow.
I called your shot.
It happens. Hey, battle.
Find your lottery ticket like a do.
No. Battle for third, though. Caleb Betsy and Oscar Fredrickson back here. These two have found their way to be together here. So again, the final race of the season will crown a champion next week in Fox, the circuit known as Le Mans. A track that's made of, Oscar kind of put 2 wheels off there. And somebody spun right in the middle of the track. I think that's Tom Carpenter. And Tom might have to take a trip to his diner after this race or something. He is not having a good night, my friend. Don't you start doing on me.
Isaac keeps going. No pit. Laying down the lap.
That one, a 105.5. But starting to say Le Mans is a track that it's a permanent road course that takes part of the city in there, and basically run about a series of 4 or 5 corners of S's and sweepers, and then you take on a very long straightaway, chicane, and then a very long straightaway.
Not going to be a lot of
and a chicane.
Not going to be a lot of downforce applied for this particular race next week. No.
A lot of speed though. We're going to see speeds easily of 200 mile an hour down these straightaways.
For sure.
Kerstetter crosses the line, 106.20.
There you go. Isaac actually had to get around a slower back marker and go to the grass to dive out of the way to get away from him. Out of the way of him. So again, those are little things like that can kind of throw you off. Isaac is focused.
So Isaac was faster than Ed on the last lap. Let's see. He's going again for another. Yep.
Nope. No pit. No pit.
And this time by, obviously going to be a little slower, I think, with the lap car. Now 105.8. Adam plunking up.
He's got Matt Houston in front of him, and depending on where he catches Matt, he might get benefit of the draft on those long straights coming back from the course.
So obviously Isaac going to wait probably until lap number, with 12 to go, basically. He'll come to his pit stop, it looks like. Oscar Fredrickson in pit road.
Yeah, those 4 team guys put in some good service, let me tell you. They're the best.
Suck up.
All right, so Matt's pitting in. I heard him on the radio pitting in. So is Isaac going to dive in with him or just go on for another lap? We'll see here. Nope, another lap.
Oh, Forsyth had to get out of the way. Almost an unsafe release. Not sure if that's in the rule book or not, but Oscar took off. 105.24 from Isaac. There's purple.
There's purple.
So that tells me he's pitting in the next couple laps, and one car's off the track over in the turn 2 area.
Remember what I said, that he had the benefit of the draft behind a very fast Houston. So I'm sure he played a role in that purple lap.
And he's still been faster than Kerstetter as he runs that curve over big time. But definitely appreciate all the viewers watching us this evening throughout this race. And we got a kind of special week of broadcasting this week, as one of the leagues I race in on Tuesday nights is actually not racing due to Thanksgiving this week and stuff like that. So tomorrow night, let me ask this question. I know it's an Indy Car race. Have you ever heard of the Snowball Derby?
I have, but I don't know much about it.
Snowball Derby is a race that is held in the beginning of the year in Pensacola, Florida at Five Flags Speedway. Tomorrow night, there's a guy that we usually broadcast for on Thursday nights. Those guys are hosting a Snowball Derby. Tomorrow night, we're going to broadcast the whole entire event. The Snowflake, which is like a prelim race, and the Snowball afterwards. So come watch us for 400 total laps of short track racing and late model stock cars and super late models at Five Flags. So I invite you to do that tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock. So Jason, get me out of work early tomorrow night. Just saying. Cohen Evans on pit road.
I will be at Bristol, but after that I will definitely.
There you go. I think I gave you some advice about that track.
I need advice for that track.
Don't wreck. There's your start.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So here comes Cohen to pit road, the champion, looking to go back-to-back, trying to get himself another finish. Is Dakota DeMed on pit road also, the 82. Last time by, Kerstetter was 1/100th of a second faster than Isaac.
Pit.
And he's in. Isaac is in.
It hits the cones perfect. No smoke in the tires. No risk of no risk of getting a black flag.
Oh, but you know what though? Here, Isaac really quickly jumped up to the left lane. There's that new rule about the pit lane. That something we didn't get a chance to bring up, but IndyCar used it this year. There's the through lane, I believe it's what it's called.
Yes.
Explain that if you could. The terminology here, but it's basically two separate lanes.
Far left lane. It's the far left lane, and that's and he's in and out, and he's fixed now, by the way. It's the far left lane of pit road, and you're supposed to be on that, and you're not supposed to pull down and I know it's common for a lot of people in iRacing to just ride right next to that area where the pit road is,
or drive through where the pit stalls
are, and then drive through all the cars as they become invisible on you. They're just trying to establish some realism here. You go through the through road, and then when you're about 3 spots away from your pit stall, then you can dive into your spot. And then once you exit your pit stall, you have the inside lane to allow traffic on the outside to die, and then you need to get on the outside lane, and then you can rejoin the racetrack. So that's what therefore decided for a little added realism. We had some people that are kind of all over the place on pit road, and I'm in some leagues now that are enforcing that, and I think it's a pretty good rule, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's one that you see in a lot of oval leagues of stock cars and iRacing. I mean, the league I run on Saturday nights, we say stay to the right on pit road. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, because, the one thing that's, you can't see your pit stall until you're almost there in some of these cars. And, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to use the word rude, but it's almost like a lack of respect for others. Even though you're competitively getting an advantage in that situation, you're not showing respect to the other driver so we can see his pit stall.
Right.
So Isaac, in the end, will have a 6.5-second lead now over Kerstetter. So Isaac stretched it out with those extra laps.
The lost time, yeah. He lost, Kerstetter lost time on that one.
And also, Oscar Fredrickson has jumped Caleb Bensi. So Oscar's moved to 4th by about 0.7 of a second over Caleb. So this is going to be our best battle on the track to see if the Ohio driver can catch the, I believe, Swedish driver.
Yeah, it's my man for Sweden.
Did you get to try the Swedish meatballs yet? Oh, no, that was somebody else I was talking to. Never mind.
I just think it's Jamie Lee Curtis and trading pieces. I'm from Sweden. Return later, host.
Another league I broadcast for, we like to talk about dinners and stuff like that on the air, like it's part of the questions, and now I know who it is. But he had beef stroganoff with meatballs last week, and I asked him, like, he ever had Swedish meatballs? Because if you go to like a, oh gosh, what's that Swedish?
IKEA?
Thank you, IKEA. You can get Swedish meatballs. They're delicious. Love
yes,
them.
You can.
They are
yeah.
delicious.
We have one here in Fisher's, Indiana.
Every place, major cities got it now. So.
I know. Indianapolis is now major.
Indianapolis has been major. Indianapolis, the only city you can walk through the whole entire city in a tunnel.
Yes, the gerbil tubes. All downtown.
But, yeah, needless to say, Swedish meatballs, pretty good.
So we have 10 laps left, and I got one more thing that I said back in 1980. IndyCar was going through a split, and you're like, well, didn't we just kind of go through a split? And yeah, that was the second split. Now we're talking about the USAC kart split. In the middle of 1980, actually 78, 79 is when the kart owners got together and formed karts. So they had their own schedule, and USAC had their own schedule. So USAC tried to really up the ante in their 1980 schedule and scheduled races at Road Atlanta, Talladega, and Charlotte on the schedule. And when they as the season progressed.
Oh, by the way, Isaac 105. Keep going.
There you go. As the season progressed and kart was kind of winning, and USAC was losing this particular battle, USAC ended up knocking certain races off the schedule. Those races happened to be Road Atlanta, Talladega. IndyCars were that close to winning Talladega, by the way, and Charlotte, which IndyCars then later visited Charlotte back in later 1997, 98. So that Road Atlanta was on the schedule, but it got canceled, and IndyCars have never really been here ever since any closer other than that Indy Lights race.
That's why he's the Donald Davidson of iRacing, as I call him, folks. With respect to Donald, obviously, too. So, hey, real quickly, I want to bring up Dakota DeMed. Dakota obviously has a video game. You saw the commercial earlier. Isaac, 104.9. There's the lap. About 10 laps later, I called. Dakota's got a game going to be coming out here, I believe, this week on I forgot the name of it. Steam. And it's called Baltic Pistol. If you didn't get a chance to see this commercial, check this out. And we'll be right back. But enjoy this commercial. And back we are here at Road Atlanta as we wrap up this race. But that right there, a video game created by that young man right there, Dakota DeMen. Not sure if he's got a degree or anything from like Full Sail maybe in his future, but Full Sail, a very popular place for those who create video games down in Orlando, Florida.
NXT.
Yes, that's also the home of that. Or certain people call it knee slapping wrestling. But anyways, yeah. Isaac Morris with a 8.3 second lead. He has put the gun down, as in the pedal, on Ed Kerstetter and said, "Dude, you're not catching me." And that is exactly what it's happened. Yeah, there you go. Well said.
Hey, put it on your. If you don't have the money for it today, put it on your wish list. Get it on payday. It's a great game.
Absolutely. It reminds me of Contra. Well said. Dang, that's a heck of a pull right there. Contra.
Up, down, down.
Caleb Benzie, by the way, got by Oscar Fredrickson and is pulled away by 7 seconds. So I'm not sure if something happened to Oscar, but I'm going to see if I can go find this real quickly. Looks like Alex Van de Sande has had an adventure, unfortunately. He is still sixth, though. Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's go back. I found something. What happened to Oscar? Craig Forsythe's pretty much said his car, quote, feels like hot garbage today. Oh, Oscar lost it over in the chicane there. Spins her around, locks it up, gets it back going. That's what's going to cost. Oh, don't high-side it. Oh, I thought he high-sided it right there.
So on our team, we call that Spinella. That's the inside joke on our team. So I'm sure Julian, when he hears this, will get a kick out of that Oscar did Spinella in the chicane.
Is that nicknamed after the black-haired lady in the show Recess?
No, that's how. No, Julian, I have no idea who that is.
That is Spinelli, for those who didn't know. For those who didn't watch Recess when you were younger, you're not cool.
It's 5 to go now.
Yeah,
5 to go?
6 to go, actually.
6 to go.
8.7 second lead for Isaac Morris, looking to get another victory in his column. Now, unfortunately, Isaac, at least as of right now, not in the points race. He might try to catch him. But, again, he is definitely shown why he could be a contender. If he especially shows up for every race next season, he could be a contender for this championship. He won it last season, but some issues at Indianapolis and a couple other tracks cost him the title, but he's got a chance.
Yeah, this is if he was in the whole season. I mean, we're talking Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher type domination, with the exception of, he finished third by a hair. Any other time, it probably would have been a win for somebody else, but he finished third by a hair in Indianapolis. Other than that's the only blemish on his record from attending races this year.
Isaac right now 11th in points entering this race, so he's 11th, and he missed the first 5 races?
5 races.
And he is only, he's not going to catch Caleb, but he is 85 points back. So he's about to pretty much jump into the top 10 in points, and he missed 5 races. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you got a lot of guys that have been in for the whole season and are in that top 10 are now starting to sweat, thinking about opportunities missed. You don't want to get beat by a guy that only showed up for 3/4 of the season or half the season, that you were there for the full time, and you get beat by that guy. So, you don't want that.
Is it one of those
Sponsors
things?
Don't like that.
Let me ask you though. Let me put you in this spot. If you're a driver, and you realize you're not the fastest one in the world, okay? Which you and I, let's go ahead and admit, we're not the fastest people. You get somebody like Isaac out here. Do you feel better knowing that this guy pretty much blew your wheels off these last 5 races, and you know what? He can have that 10th spot. Does it make you feel better knowing that than having him just barely beat you or race you and just flat out beat you each time?
Well, I know, just from talking with Isaac, I just know how hard he works. And if it was just, some kid at home that just throws this on in the afternoon and, whips up and, just puts no effort into it, that's one thing. But Isaac genuinely puts a lot of heart and soul. We talked about his workout program, practices, tons and tons of laps. you're not getting beat by just anybody. You're getting beat by a professional simulation car driver or something like that. So that in itself is not a bad thing, and I'm not ashamed about that. And we're already doing the weave going down the straight.
He knows we're talking about him.
We're doing the shuffle. He is doing the shuffle.
The more shuffle's already on, and we're not even at 4 to go.
I gotta compete against this guy next year in Velocity Online Racing, and he'll be part of the first team, I believe. The ovals could be a bit of a level playing field, especially when you get the draft involved. When the 1 or 2 road courses that we have to be on the Velocity Online Racing League next year, I'm not looking forward to racing this guy. But he's also a pretty genuine guy. When you ask for help, you need help, you need advice, he'll give it to you. He's brutally honest, but brutally honest helps people, and that's how I found it. That it's worked well for me. It's been working with working with my teammate Oscar. He's a pretty genuine guy. You ask for help, he's going to give it to you.
Well, and one other thing that he's done a good job of is these thumbnails that you're going to see. I posted this up on the screen. You're seeing these at the beginning of the races when I first come on the air, or even on the preview screen. You're seeing it right now. I actually posted on the broadcast. These are made by Isaac. He actually started doing this for me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He just sent me a message, dude, you mind if I make some thumbnails for you? And of course I'm like, you're gonna make pictures of your phone? But then I realized he was talking photos. All right, bad joke here, don't laugh. But he posted a laugh. I told you what not to do. But he sends these photos, so shout out to him for doing that. So that's all Isaac there. As we look at Cohen, Cohen's got a 1.5 second lead on Caleb Bensi. So Caleb is coming for that podium. Caleb's been about a half-second quicker than Cohen. And he is within a second here. So we've got a chance here to Caleb Bensi could potentially extend that point lead over all of his competitors. I mean, he's already got, 2 spots on Alex. So he's got him. Unfortunately, Forsyth had a bad night. You mentioned Justin's not here tonight. So he's already kind of eliminating people one by one right now. Caleb Bensi, I'm trying to think of rookies. Not that a rookie on iRacing is a little different than an actual IndyCar rookie. But a rookie in a league coming in and doing something like this, I'm trying to think of something like this in real life. Zanardi comes, Montoya, I guess, would be another one.
Zanardi, Montoya, Villeneuve.
I mean, look at those 3 names right there. Huh. And Caleb's there. He's within a second, or within a half second. He's on his tail.
He's probably got a pass at the same time, too. Let's use him. Use him or lose him.
Let's ride with Caleb. Oh, he's doing the old peek, like, yep.
So, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just he was doing the old peek real quickly. Like, he's not making a move. He's kind of putting himself out there. Like, hey, see that?
Most everyone maintains station for the most part for this race. Not a lot of movers and shakers. Davis ends up 3. That's your biggest, actually the biggest mover and shaker is Fiero. Unfortunately, Connor down 13, but most everyone is within a slot or 2 of where they started.
Essence here. And the checker flag out. Isaac Morris does the weave. And Morris has won his 9th career race. I almost missed the finish. I saw the checkered flag pop up. I'm like, oh, they're at the finish. I didn't realize it was the final lap. I'm having that much fun.
Yeah.
But Morris has won his 9th race of his career and a win at Road Atlanta. And then let's go back to that battle for 3rd for the podium. I'm going to fire my producer tonight. And Caleb is not going to be able to get Cohen. Cohen's going to hold on and take the last podium spot, but another top 5 finish for the point leader. Caleb Bensi, Oscar Fredrickson going to come by. He will finish 5th. Alex Van de Sande, he will finish 6th. Dakota DeMed, another guy that's pretty tight in points. He is going to come by and get the 7th place finish here at Road Atlanta.
After last week was a bit of a rough week for him. Oscar with another top 5. Way to go, man.
has done a great job after a rough ending, unfortunately, in that VOR, like you mentioned. But he has done a good job tonight. Everybody did a good job tonight. Mostly a clean race for the. I mean, people had their offs and things like that, but we didn't really see any kind of major incidents this evening in this race, other than O'Connor.
Right, and the worst case of people thinking that it was going to funnel down into that turn 3 and B issues just never occurred. I think that says a lot to the admins for bringing that to everyone's attention and to the drivers who, actually want to put on a good show and show that they're actually skilled, that they can go through there with a number of cars and not wreck. Good on them. Sponsors be proud.
Well, absolutely, especially sponsors. Let's mention ETA. Good segue there. ETA Racing was the sponsor of tonight's race. Want to give them a shout out as Ed Kerstetter gets a second place finish. Adam Plunkett a ninth place run, and Tom Carpenter fought through it and got a 12th place run. As I hate when that happens.
Dakota stops him from spinning.
A donut bomb by Dakota DeMed.
Way to go, Dakota.
Isaac is probably like, dude.
Well, there you go, Baltic Pistol. Get it on Steam today, or put it on your wish list.
I can think of some Irish words that Isaac might be calling him right now, but I can't say them out loud. But here's the stats right now for Isaac. This is his 5th start of the season. 4 wins, 5 top 5s. Oh, by the way, 5 top 3s. That is pretty much domination.
Yeah, he's right now the nation of domination. So,
wow.
There you go.
Well done.
I worked that one in too, yeah.
90s comeback, call back there. But Isaac has won this race. Let's take a look at the final results for this ETA Grand Prix at Road Atlanta. Isaac Morris wins it by 5 seconds over Ed Kerstetter. Cohen Evans 3rd. Caleb Bensi 4th. Oscar Fredrickson 5th. As Isaac goes up backwards on pit road. That's interesting. Alex Van de Sant finishing 6th. Dakota DeMed. Now that deserves a grade right there. There's a donut into it. That was pretty good. That's pretty good.
There, yeah.
Now, that's pretty good. I think maybe even the... I'm not even going to say anything. Where did I leave off? Dakota DeMed finishing 7th. Matt Houston 8th. Adam Plunkett, Cody Claiborne. Jim Herrick finishing 11th. Hey, there's the Road Atlanta sign. Tom Carpenter 12th. Joe Fierro finishing 13th. Dan Marrero 14th. Craig Forsyth 15th. Eric O'Connor going to finish 16th. Tough break for him tonight. He had a car that could compete with Isaac, it looked like. Elliot Cox 17th. And Gavin Smith 18th on the grid when it was all said and done.
Cody with a nice recovery there. Get a top 10 after having a day he started with. That's real good.
Yeah, he fought through it. Perseverance. Sometimes you make the champions make the best out of bad nights. And not saying that Cody's a champion or anything. He hasn't won a championship to my knowledge. But you know what? That's where it starts, is things like that. Never give up in your races. So a lot of people
never
do
give
what
up,
they call the rage
surrender.
quit. Yes. All right, let's go get Mr. Swervy Swerve up here into the channel. As Isaac Morris is getting to the point where he will start the Morris Shuffle probably on lap 1 next week at Le Mans while he's going down the straightaways.
He started earlier and earlier. Well, Le Mans is only, 15 laps next week, so he will have to start early.
Pretty much lap 1 down the straightaway. Isaac joins us this evening. Isaac, at first it really wasn't...
He already knows what we're laughing at already.
Absolutely.
He already knows.
But Isaac, you come in, you get your 4th win already in 5 starts this season. It looked like at the beginning it was not going to be easy as your teammate was putting pressure on you.
Eric had a lot of potential to win the race tonight, and I don't know what happened to him. I looked in my mirror at one point, he was there, and then next he wasn't, and I was like, even if he did win the race, I would have been really happy with a TI 1-2. Like, it would have really given us a lot of confidence for next season when it comes to the championship then. So I know that I can have a teammate that's going to be quicker or right up my ass. So I know we can come 1st and 2nd in races.
Well, that's what you guys did, and then after that, you had Ed Kerstetter. You guys were swapping laps, And then you come out there with that 104.9 lap, which is usually this is my race. You're not taking it from me lap. And but the tire though, this is what kind of confused us because a lot of people were saying these tires are falling off. It seemed like the fall off really wasn't there.
No, I actually was making adjustments to the roll bar throughout the lap, to cool the tires off so they weren't like 200 degrees going into the next corner. But like it was only minor adjustments, but it like obviously helped because even when Ed came into the pits to get fresh rubber, I was setting faster laps than him when he was on the fresh rubber. So yeah.
Did you know you had damage?
I had damage.
Bingo.
I told
it's
you.
It's a mental thing.
I told you he didn't know.
I said all race that it was in your second stint. You actually clipped one of the curbs down the S's, and your left front folded. And I said, sometimes, if he doesn't see that damage, then mentally that not going to hurt him. Probably he's just going to keep digging.
That probably explains why your tires were a lot hotter in that second stint.
Yeah, I did notice.
See if I can find that lap real quick.
My tires dropping off a little bit quicker than the first stint, but
that's why.
But towards the end of the stint, the car got really quick all of a sudden, and I wasn't noticing any like straight line deficits or like top speed deficits or any cornering aerodynamic deficits.
If you look on the stream right now, you'll see the left front of your wing.
Oh, hold on, let me get it up.
I mean, most of you guys watch normally when it's,
Okay. I'm just waiting for the stream to come through.
It'll catch up here in about a year.
He's already got it now.
You'll notice your wing.
Oh, yeah.
The front's kind of folded up, and I'll see if I can get back to the lap and show you when that happened. But, I mean, so obviously you didn't feel much when that happened.
No, literally nothing. Like,
I mean, it looked like you're going to push it a little bit more turn one than normal. Because I thought I saw you turn your wheel forward. But man, you were just laying down purple laps like it was no big deal. And I'm like, well, at some point these tires got to really go off on them. And I'm sure, like toward the end of that
right
run,
here,
these tires were pretty well worn, and you just kept going.
There. Yeah.
It was when you went over that left curve a little too much. Is what it looks like.
The bottom of the hill at the Essence.
Yep.
I think I know exactly like the lap actually because when I hit the curb, I said to myself, God, I
it wasn't.
And then that's obviously what happened. But yeah, I did notice the damage. The car was great. The track was great. The setup was pretty good this week. Did a lot of practice for this.
Yeah, you did.
So I'm really happy that the practice has paid off this week. Because I think if I came into this race doing what I did at Monza, I would have definitely lost this race. So, but yeah, I just want to say congrats to Ed and Cohen though for filling out the rest of the podium. They did a great job. Ed was applying the pressure towards the end, and I have to give it to him. He was, it was nice to feel the heat sometimes. So
there you go. You did a great job, and it's your fourth win of the season. You'll move into the top 10 in points, so there's a positive too, considering you've only been here for 5, and you'll stretch that second chance championship potentially. And for the third consecutive week, they got to figure out how to get some chili mix to your house. So I guess you consider to put that pressure on them.
Yeah. Well, me and Jim have actually spoken about it, so we're all sorted.
Like, yeah, we can't pull this off. But hey, send shout outs whoever you want to.
I want to give a shout out to Chris, the owner of TI. He's always doing a good job, making sure that I'm ready for the races and keeping me level headed. want to give a shout out to our main title sponsor, Groblets on Ice. Again, great sponsor, helping TI out a lot. And again, just a shout out to Ed and Cohen and everyone else who finished the race. So, yeah.
Congratulations, Isaac, on your win. You're, by the way, the league leader in wins career-wise. That's your 9th. Your next one will be number 10. So we'll see if you can finish it out over the pond there.
As well.
Yeah, polls too. Well, now you might have passed Cohen because Cohen was stretching that one out a little bit, and you've kind of locked down that one the last couple weeks. So great job on that, and we'll talk next week.
Thank you very much, Chris. And,
See you at Bristol tomorrow, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What? Isaac's doing Bristol? I got to see this.
Me too, because I'm in the same boat as him.
Isaac, we can talk after the race. I'll give you the same advice I gave Gary to help you out.
Okay.
2 words. Don't wreck.
I'll try my best.
All right, buddy. Nice job, Isaac.
See you later. Bye.
Guys, thank you.
Does that guy know what he's in for? Anyways,
well, I told the admin of that league, I said, you got 4 IndyCar drivers that are making their first start at Bristol in your league.
Oh,
so
dear.
they're going to be yellows happening this
my.
week.
Somebody get the Benny Hill music queued up for me.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah,
right,
wah.
pretty much. Ed Kerstetter joins us. A good bounce back for you, Ed, for that ETA racing. You guys, first off, thank you for sponsoring tonight's race. I know I can speak for everybody with the series. They're very appreciative for what you guys did, and I know you guys are doing it just to say thank you to the series and stuff. But tonight, you backed up that run last week. You didn't get the finish, but tonight you got the finish. A second-place run for you. I know you're proud of that. I mean, I could speak for him, I guess, too. Gary, you got anything you want to say for Ed?
Hey, can you hear me now?
There he is.
I'm going to thank your sponsors. I'm going to thank your parents.
I'm just a real quiet guy. Yeah, push to talk decided to just stop working. First off, thanks to LMC Gear and TI Racing and you guys at Captain TV. These broadcasts are so much fun to watch after the fact. Really kind of livens everything up when you're in the car too. And Adam, I wish I could take credit for the sponsor. That was all Adam Plunkett. That was we're just glad to be here, really.
Well, Ed, actually, I owe you a thank you, too, because you actually showed me that secret about the game mode on my computer, and I don't know if it's made a difference in the last couple of broadcasts I've done. We'll find out tonight, but appreciate the little bit of help there on that end. So, talk about your race tonight, man. You definitely competed. You were right there with Isaac a little bit, and then, of course, Isaac went into a whole nother gear. But you definitely showed that you had a car tonight that can compete.
Yeah, had a good car. I feel like I can run similar laps to Isaac, but he can turn it on earlier and more consistently. So I got some practice to do here. But congrats to Isaac, and I think who finished second? Cohen.
Well, you finished second.
Or third. Sorry.
We
to
know
those guys on the podium.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, definitely improvement from last week. I wasn't sitting in the tire barriers, so
right.
I guess anything would be an improvement over last week, and just hopefully keep heading in this direction and make things closer with Isaac, and maybe eventually give him a run for his money.
And I got to ask you a question here. You ever drove to IndyCar at Le Mans?
I have not. That will be very exciting. Probably very boring patches during the straightaways, followed by very exciting corners. So it will certainly be interesting.
It'll give you an opportunity to get something to drink or take a bite of food while you're going down the straightaways. But yeah, not that I've not done that before during a race, but just giving you some ideas of things.
I have to put a cup holder next to my rig here, so I can just go over, take a sip.
There you
Chris,
go.
I can't do that anymore now. That's the downside of the VR.
Oh, see, that's why you don't get VR.
The absolute. I was parched like anything at California racing. You guys, I'm like, I need something to drink. So, if you're VR, you don't get a chance to. I'm going to see if I can develop some sort of bag and straw type thing that I can put water on my chair or something, just like they do in the real cars. But yeah, enjoy your beverages and your crumpets on the backstretch at Le Mans next week.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
Ed.
guys.
Yeah, Ed, send shout out to whoever you want to real quick, bud.
Oh yeah, I got my sister and her husband watching. So hey guys, thanks
Is that
for
who
watching.
Ruthless Samurai
And
is?
yeah, that's my sister's husband. Yeah, and then also thanks to my lovely wife. Today is her 5-year anniversary, and she let me race. So
Congrats.
yeah.
Wow. We know
I
that
owe
you
her
married
big
up.
time
You definitely outkicked your coverage that time. So way to
for
go.
sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas. Awesome broadcast as always.
I appreciate that,
You
Ed.
do a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Ed Kerstetter joining us. Let's get him. Bring him down there in his team. Doing a great job there. And Ed, I know a couple flower websites you might want to go to after this. Just going to put that out there. Anyways, to our third place finisher, Cohen Evans.
I guess you can call Cohen best in class, kind of, because he's a highest finishing regular competitor.
Well, best in class would be highest finishing American driver, I guess we can call it, because Isaac obviously is from Ireland in that area. So, but Cohen Evans joins us now. Cohen, a great race for you. You finished best out of those that are still in that running for the championship. You're going to gain kind of minimal points tonight, but you're still in that chance to go get 2 in a row at Le Mans next week.
Yeah, not the best points day I could have had, but I think Isaac and Ed were just so much faster than me. I didn't even have a chance at catching them. It was a good race. I don't even know how I finished on the podium. Caleb and Oscar were so much faster than me that entire race, and I just somehow was able to keep the gap wide enough, at least up until that last stint, and then Oscar spun, and then Caleb was right on my rear wing there at the end. So I bet if he had one more lap, he would have passed me.
So I want to ask you the question here, because you and I have run Le Mans together. Obviously in the 24-hour iRacing event, and I thought you were one of the smoothest. I'm like, man, this guy's one of the smoothest road course racers I've ever seen. Have you ever thought the day would come you would be driving an Indy car through the Porsche curbs?
No, not at all.
But I mean, talk about that race next week, and the fact that you have a chance to get a championship, and knowing that there's going to be so much draft down the straightaways. Only, an 18-lap race, I think it is. So you're going to be pitting probably 7 laps in, 6-7 laps, coming to get fuel and tires and things like that. I mean, this is going to be like the ultimate curveball.
Yeah, it's basically a Daytona road course. You got half the track is a draft, and the other half is an actual road course, in my opinion. So we'll see who gets out in front and wins.
Well, it should be a lot of fun, but, talk about the competition out here this year, because last year it was basically, for the most part, you and Isaac. And then obviously Isaac fell off, and off the top of my head, I forget who it was, Alex Van de Sant made the run towards you. But this year, going into this race, you had 7 people within 35 points.
Yeah, I'm surprised how competitive this field has been. The beginning of this year was competitive, and then we got halfway, and we just had more and more people join. And then today, I was just baffled how fast everyone was in qualifying.
12 people, the top 12 were faster than the track record.
Wow.
That's crazy. Well, Cohen, nice job. Send shout out to whoever you want to, bud.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about this. I guess I'll shout out Jim. He's done a great job for the league so far. Matt or Marion for doing good on the setup this week and doing good on the race control part.
No shout out to IUPUI or anything like that?
I just moved away for a couple months, actually.
Oh! There you go. So where are you now? IPFW? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. PFW.
Right yep, PFW.
Anyways, great job, Cohen. Had to throw that in there. But nice job, and we'll see you next week at Le Mans.
2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks. Something like that. Yeah. Whenever we race there. So, nice job, Cohen. Cohen Evans joining us. He's kind of got me wondering now, Gary. Let me go look at the schedule real quick. But anywho, the spicy overtake of the race. I have a pretty good idea of who to go to on this one. If you go all the way back to the beginning of the race, I pulled this one up. I think I've got the right lap because I did the research while we were talking in our interview. Go run it. Cody Claiborne and Jim Herrick. All right, so Jim has got all the pressure on Cody. Going up here, they're going to go through turn 1, and you remember what I'm talking about here? I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But this, I think, is going to be the spicy overtake of the race because this is a move. I couldn't help but think the Road America race, I think it was this year, with, who's the rookie? That went outside in the carousel. And it was like, what in the world are you doing? Well, watch Jim Herrick here. Power move outside into the right-hander. That right there was impressive.
He had a good run, got the ground. Totally good running out there.
So that there is going to be, that's going to be the spicy overtake of the race. Brought to you by world champion Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. Just add meat, tomato sauce, and water, and you've got world championship chili. So Jim Herrick wishing happy trails to Cody Claiborne on that pass with the excellent overtake, and so much more. Brought to you by Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning. So that was a pretty good pass. I mean, I'm just like, man, it's like, because at the end of the race, we always sit here and we think, all right, what can we do? And it just popped in my head. That was immediately, that pass was awesome.
Well, if you didn't remember that pass, I mean, I was just saying, I don't want to give every award to Isaac, but the dude ran a whole stint with a broken wing and didn't even know it. So that right there deserves a little something. But hey, he won the race. So,
well, in fairness to the field, I'm sure he's not the only one that ran with a damaged wing in a series. But up front, yes, that part's impressive. I'll give him that part. So not to take any credit away from anybody, but and that kind of thing. So. Well, anyways, that is going to do it. And as a matter of fact, Gary, share your thoughts here. I'm actually going to go look real quickly and make sure maybe Cohen had a point there about next week. But share your thoughts about this race.
It's December 7th.
Oh, well, there you go.
I thought it was great. I think that the amount of time that the league gave for everyone, and this is every week. This is not just this week, but it's every week, and even more so when it comes to Indianapolis, with the number of practice sessions that the league pays for, that allows you to come in and try things out, that you really saw a lot of people improve. I mean, even some of the back markers that were struggling in some of the earlier sessions improved their time. Hey, I got in there and I improved my time. I even saw my teammate Oscar get in there and he improved his time. If you're just leery about getting into a league and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to practice or whatever, there's 12 hours per race that this league gives you to practice in official practices. Jump in there, give it a shot. You're going to get better. And really, how do you know if you don't try? Just get on in here. So everyone here improved. It was pretty impressive. The times, you could throw a blanket over the top 12, plus the top 12 were faster than the existing track record, which was an LMP car. These guys were really hauling it. And the fact that we didn't see as many off-track instances that we probably could have seen, just is testament to, number one, all their practice and skill, and number two, the quality of drivers that we have in this league. It's really a good set of folks.
It really is, and yep, Gary confirmed it, and we will confirm next time on the air. Actually, 2 weeks from tonight, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, as some might remember here. December 7th, one day we'll never forget in our lives, even though not a lot of us weren't a part of it, but we've heard our stories and stuff like that as we head over to, ironically, France, which, of course, was part of World War II in another manner for us. But, yeah, that was fantastic racing out there tonight. I enjoyed it, and looking forward to that in 2 weeks. And, of course, Thanksgiving for the viewers of the LMCgear.com iRacing Indy Car Series that watches some Monday nights. We hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Of course, we invite you to watch the other series that we have throughout the week. This week, a little bit of a weird week when it comes to the broadcasting. Tomorrow night, we have the Snowball Derby event. Going to be a long race and a long night for me, starting at 7 o'clock. We'll have the Snowflake, which is the late models 100-lap 1 hour race, and then a 300-lap short track fest at the Snowball Derby 5 Flags Speedway, which is actually a race that happens in December in Pensacola, Florida. So we'll have that tomorrow night here on Captain TV. Wednesday night Truck Series, Great Lakes Truck Series at Michigan. Should be a fun race there. The Prehistoric 200, in case you've never heard about the Prehistoric Forest. It's a pretty cool story to share that one. It's basically an old theme park that was opened during the 60s and 70s just outside the Michigan Speedway that closed down. There's actually still dinosaurs there on the property that you can see, not real ones, obviously, but
in the woods. Wow.
In the woods there. Yep, pretty cool story. You drive down Highway 12 to the Speedway, and there's dinosaurs there. And then after that, we're off until, I don't even know. But otherwise, if you don't get to join us, let us be the first to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Same to you, Gary. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Happy and healthy to everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Food, fun, family, football, the 4 Fs that make Thanksgiving a fun day. So with that all said, enjoy your Thursday night. Gary, again, appreciate you joining us. And as I always like to say, if somebody gets mad at you because get wrecked and you got all furious at them and they're like, dude, relax, it's just a game, and you've annoyed the heck out of them and things because an IndyCar guy wrecked you at Bristol, tell them relax, it's not just a game, it's iRacing. See ya.
No fair. Good night.